So it's time once again to talk about the Indianapolis 500 entry list for 2022, and it seems like bad news for those of you who enjoy Bump Day and the uncertainty that anyone could miss the Indianapolis 500, because right now there's a struggle to get to 33 cars. Let's talk about it. And this Indy 500 entry list update is brought to you by HelloFresh. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit for a reason. You get delicious meals that are fun to make, delivered right to your door. And in today's hectic world, getting a home-cooked meal on the table every day is an accomplishment worth celebrating. And celebration never tasted this good. HelloFresh has more 5-star reviews than any other meal kit. And you know we like things that are fast on this channel. That's why HelloFresh offers a wide variety of quick and easy recipes, including 20-minute meals, easy cleanup, and low prep options. Go to HelloFresh.com and use the code LAND16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. That's HelloFresh.com and use the code LAND16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. So I'm just going to come right out and say it, and it's not going to make me many friends, but frankly, it's absolutely unacceptable that we are 2 months from the green flag of the Indy 500 and a month away from the beginning of May in Indianapolis, and we are talking about filling the 33-car field. We do not have 33 Indy cars ready to go for the Indianapolis 500 as March is about to turn to April. This is not 2007 anymore. There are not 2 series. IndyCar, by all accounts, is on a massive upward swing. This should not be happening. This is crazy to me that this is happening, and this needs to change immediately. They need to figure this out, because why is there a justification for a month of practice, a month of buildup, if there's no point to qualifications at the Indianapolis 500? And I know that people will want to blame the supply chain, and that's probably going to be what the official blame is. But ultimately, you look at Daytona, and they debuted a new car, and they had 42 cars and sent 2 home. I'm sorry. That just doesn't fly. Something has got to be done. So let's talk about some history and show exactly kind of why we are where we are right now in terms of the Indy 500 entry list. So the last 3 years that there has been bumping in the Indianapolis 500 have been 2018, 2019, and 2021. And here's the breakdown. Chevy to Honda. How many cars were entered for each manufacturer? In 2018, you had 19 Hondas and 16 Chevys. In 2019, you had 18 Hondas and 18 Chevys. And then in 2021, we had 17 Honda and 18 Chevy. So that gives us 35, 36, and 35. Now, 2021 really should have been 18 Honda and 18 Chevy. Ultimately, one of the Honda cars pulled out right at the end. That was Cody Ware. So really, we should have had 36 last year. We obviously had 36 in 19 and 2018, the return of bumping for the first time since 2011. We had 35. This year, 2022, we have 17 confirmed Hondas and 15 confirmed Chevys. So 32 cars right now. And certainly we'll talk later about the possibilities to not only fill the field, but give us a bump day, because thankfully there are possibilities. But again, like I said, the fact that the interest is out there and we don't have a full field yet, it's absolutely insane to me. So from 2021 to 2022, we've gone from 35 cars officially entered down to 32. So who did we lose? Because we did gain a few cars. We'll talk about that here in a bit. But from last year to this year, we lost a 4th A.J. Foyt entry. I spoke to the team specifically about this because there was a rumor they might run a 4th car. That was shot down. So no 4th Foyt. They're going to be at 3 cars. There's not going to be a 4th Penske car, nor a 5th Penske car if you're talking about Peretta Autosport. Now, I really should talk about Peretta Autosport because Depending on what publication you read, it seems like some people perhaps are under the wrong impression about how far along the Paretta program is. As I ask around a lot about this program, and they have a concept, and that concept is capable of getting a lot of eyeballs. But for whatever reason, that eyeball catching project is not generating sponsorship, and ultimately sponsorship is going to be what gets Beth Paretta's team on the grid, because they don't have cars, they don't have equipment, they have to partner with someone. And trust me, this is something I know, is they've talked to virtually every team, and it just doesn't seem like they're going to make it, because if they are going to be a fourth Penske car, they announced that in February of last year, and now it is almost April. So I just don't see Paretta being a viable entry this year unless something completely off the wall happens, which, of course, things happen off the wall all the time. And, of course, Carlin Racing, which all their assets were purchased by Juncos Racing, but ultimately Juncos is only going to enter one car. So we still lost the Carlin, quote-unquote, car from last year. So who's entered this year? Well, let's go over pretty quickly, because you guys should know most of this by now. Chip Ganassi Racing is going to enter 5 cars. Tony Kanaan in what may or may not be his last Indianapolis 500. Seems like he'll run number 1. Marcus Ericsson, Scott Dixon, Alex Palou, and Jimmy Johnson. Now, that's one of the cars that is a +1 from last year. Jimmy did not run the Indianapolis 500. Kanaan ran in his place, but Kanaan and Johnson will run this year's Indianapolis 500. Team Penske was one of the major reductions this year, which is disappointing to say the least, because it seems like Roger Penske, who owns the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, owns IndyCar, his own team reducing the amount of cars they're running has directly impacted the entry list from the perspective of not only not having bumps, but not potentially having 33 cars. Newgarden, McLaughlin, who's looked so strong this year, and 2018 winner Will Power. AJ Foyt Racing, like I said, down to 3 cars. Dalton Kellett, J.R. Hildebrand in the number 11 car that was recently confirmed, and obviously he ran Texas. He will be running all of the oval tracks this year. And Kyle Kirkwood, the hot rookie. Arrow McLaren SP. Now, while I'm not going to necessarily call it a team that has the possibility of expanding later in this video to give us that 33, 34, 35, there are some teams trying to get, or some partners, sponsors, drivers trying to get Arrow to run a 4th car. Doesn't look like it will happen, but I will say that possibility is on the table in some respects. So Award, Montoya in car 6, that's the return of that number since 2018, and Felix Rosenquist. Rahal Letterman Lanigan. This is another team that I heard at one point was a possibility to go to 4 cars, but right now it's at 3. Rahal, Lundgaard, Harvey. Dale Coyne Racing, Dave Malukas, and Takuma Sato. This is a team I know for a fact was actively trying to do a 3rd car. Honda told them no. Honda continues to say they are tapped at 17 engines. However, we'll talk about this a little bit later. It seems like there is one possibility. Honda is willing to go to an 18th engine for them. We'll talk about that just in a second. Ed Carpenter Racing seems locked in at 3. That's their traditional number. Connor Daly in 20. VK in Renus VK in number 21 and number 33 for Ed Carpenter. Brian Reinbold Racing. This was another place where a team expanded from last year. So they were only at 1 car last year for Sage Karam. They welcomed Santino Ferrucci into the team. This year we saw how strong he was at Texas Motor Speedway. Andretti Autosport at 5 cars is a reduction from last year where they entered 6. Herta, Rossi, Grosjean, DiFrancesco, and Marco Andretti. No real surprises or shocks there. Meyer Shank Racing, the defending winners of the Indianapolis 500, still 2 cars. 06 Elio Castroneves, defending champion, and the 2019 winner, Simon Pagenaud, in 60. And currently, the only 1-car team entered is Juncos Hollinger Racing, the number 77 for Callum Eilon, the rookie driver from Great Britain. So that's your 32. Here are the possibilities that exist right now to fill the field, and then possibly, if all the stars align, you could end up with 34 or 35. Top Gun Racing. Now, Top Gun Racing was essentially ready to go, and I actually had them confirmed for a while, but they've had a falling out with RC Anderson, and that has delayed their plans. Now, that being said, I was over at the Top Gun shop specifically to kind of research some of this stuff and ask some tough questions. As far as I am aware, and I have seen the cars, the equipment, it's all still there. Top Gun Racing intends to enter this year's Indianapolis 500. They have some drivers lined up that are veterans to drive the car, but they are looking for the sponsorship like everybody is. I would say that of the possibilities that exist on the table right now, Top Gun is the closest to making an entry absolutely 100% happen. But I don't think we'll know for sure one way or the other until the next couple of weeks. And at that point, you're getting down to crunch time. You're getting down to that open test for the Indianapolis 500 in late April. So once again, it seems like Top Gun is going to be under the gun to make their entry happen. However, again, I'll say this. At the present time, with the information available, Top Gun to me is going to be the team that is that 33rd entry. Here's an interesting rumor, and we always hear this every single year, is the Catherine Legg to the Indy 500 rumor. And I heard it again when I was in Sebring for the 12 hours. So this is what I know. Number one, you may have noticed, and certainly some people will notice, that the current entry list is completely devoid of a female driver. It seems that Honda is working to change that, and Catherine Legg seems to be their pick. Now, the problem with Catherine Legg is that she certainly seems to have, or she has been talking to Honda about doing an Indy 500 entry. The problem is they don't have a partner team, and they don't have a sponsor. So how will this effort get to the track? There's some possibilities. They could partner with Peretta. They could go to, say, Vassar Sullivan or even Dale Coyne, again, a team that I know for a fact wanted to run a third car and was told no by Honda. Maybe this is the opportunity that Dale Coyne has to get that 18th Honda to go run. The thing I had heard about the 18th Honda engine, which does exist, is that Honda would only make it available in a special circumstance. And I remember hearing specifically the comparison to Peretta Autosport. Well, if this Catherine Legg Honda team-up is indeed legitimate, which I believe it is, it just depends how far down the road it is, I think this is a potentially strong possibility, because certainly the money would be behind it, especially if Honda's footing the bill. But again, it's so late. That's the problem with all this stuff. It is so late. The third possibility is the Cusick team with Stefan Wilson. I mean, they have a full budget ready to go. I mean, this is, again, a complete package. And they can't find anybody to take them. Well, that's not necessarily true. But I think the Cusick, Stefan Wilson people, they have a high standard. They want a car that can compete. And I think right now they feel that of the options available, there isn't really one that will get them to where they want to be. I mean, I think, especially after Wilson had the Andretti ride last year, I feel like your standards are probably pretty high. I don't blame them, but that's going to be the tough sell for them, is that do you take your money to Juncos? Do you take your money to Top Gun? Or do you sit on it for a year and come back in 23 with a potentially stronger program? But yeah, that's where we are. So it's, again, not great. I'm not particularly happy about it, because to me, the month of May in Indy is sacred. It's one of the last sacred things we got in the sport, and we've got to protect it, man. And one of the big things is that qualification, that purity of the fastest 33, and the idea that, hey, Scott Dixon could get bumped from the field. And if you don't have that, you lose a little bit of what Indy is. And again, with as strong as the series is right now, the fact that attention doesn't seem to be focused on, getting the Indy 500 to be an entertaining and exciting build-up the whole month is very disappointing to me. So that's where we stand. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been David Land on YouTube. Subscribe for more motorsport content, and I will see you in the next video.